No, I'm still pegging. Okay, I'm going to have to talk softly because we have apparently killed the audio section of our video recorder. Man, that's hot. We're going to do something a little bit different here. I have, first of all, if you have made a comment to the channel and I have not responded, don't get offended if I didn't reply to it, because I just found this section that has a metric crap ton of video comments that I have not seen. And it's, you know, it's my fault because I'm relying on the app to tell me when somebody leaves a comment. And if the app doesn't tell me, I'm not actively digging down through the menus here on YouTube to look for those. And it's something that I do. I need to be better about that, because I don't want anybody to get their feelings hurt or to come looking for information and then not hearing anything from me. You can message me through Facebook. I get those fairly quickly. You can message me through the Instagrams. I get those fairly quickly. YouTube is not a very strong messaging app, so I apologize for that. So I'm going to go through and look at a bunch of these comments that for some reason I just didn't get. Let's see, one talking about steaming out dents. Can this be done over a dent with nitro finish on top? I'm gonna, some of these I already replied to and went, oh, I can do this better. So I just put, yeah, I've done it. Guitars that already have finishes on them, you gotta be careful though with everything, especially if you know it's a nitro finish. Nitro can pick up moisture when it gets warm. If you have ever seen like a side table and somebody's put down a coffee mug on it and didn't use a coaster, or put down something cold and didn't use a coaster and then picked it back up and there's a little white ring on it, well, there you go. I use small cotton swabs, and they are not dripping with moisture on them. They're moist. I know people are already jumping off the edge because I used the word. I will steam it until it stops making steam, and then I will get that soldering iron to heat back up again, and then reapply some moisture to that cotton swab. You just got to be careful with your stuff. If you can test it out in a region that's not a big deal, to see what's going to happen, you might be able to take the truss rod cover off and do a test there. And if it things go crazy, then you can put the truss rod cover back on and just live with the mojo that your guitar has. So yeah, always do a test, and I do. I always look for places where I can do tests where I can figure out, is it a nitro finish, is it like a poly finish, is it oil, that type of stuff, in an area that's not a big deal. Let's see, did I miss a video in this series? This is talking about the Ovation neck reset. I'm gonna have to look because I know I filmed all that stuff. It's not very exciting. You drill a hole in the body, and then so that it lines up, you drill a little hole in the neck heel. You just put a brass insert in there, like you would do for a bolt-on neck guitar. And I did that just so I could pull that neck in tight. I know people love their Ovations, and if you do, that's fine. If I played one, if I was a player, I might love it too, but I'm not a player. I'm the poor SOB that's trying to fix one of these. As far as working on them, I'm not a fan, and that's okay, because there are plenty of people who are, and there are plenty of people who will be more than happy to take on those projects. I'm just not that guy. Yeah, fretboard extension's not sitting on solid flat on the block. Yeah, that's back talking about the neck reset. Yeah, the fingerboard extension was coming off of that. We eventually got it glued back on. Too long a video. First of all, not to be picky, but it is TOO long a video, and I agree. almost live. Yeah, talking about that Gretsch Burl Ives guitar. That's still a fun guitar. It's in my office in the basement, and I was playing it last night. I've got it in a weird kind of a drop D key. It's got an interesting sound. It's got bronze strings on it. It doesn't have like the silver steel strings on it. Talking about the Martin X series back, what kind of glue or adhesive do you use to attach the top and back to the sides? I use Type Bond. It's a modern guitar. That's a modern glue. That's what I would use. If it was an older Martin, when they built them with hide glue, then I try to use hide glue where I can. I think that's one of the reasons why the older guitars sound better. They're made of air-dried wood, and they are made with old-time hide glue. New guitars don't sound like old guitars because they're not made like old guitars. A lot of the wood is kiln dried. They use modern glues. The bracing's sometimes different. The strings can be different. There's a lot of stuff that's different between a pre-war Martin Herringbone and a Fender acoustic electric that's got a black polyurethane finish to it. If you want to say they're better, made modern, compare apples to apples, because you're not apples for apples when you're talking about modern construction techniques, and I should say modern production techniques. There's a lot of boutique guys out there doing it the way it was done years ago, and they sound great. Let's see, tool haul from an estate sale. Narada said, you didn't score crap GN good night. I don't know. I operate in a world where capital letters and punctuation are standard, but thanks for dropping by, because YouTube is happy that you interacted with my video, and so am I. Richard B. talking about the Epiphone. Man, you guys are like way back in the catalog. You're like back in the worst stuff I ever did. Epiphone 335 Cherry Red, used, doesn't want to stay in tune. Needs a tune up after each tune. I play jazz blues, normally acoustic. It's not horrendous, just a tweak. I'm not sure what the strings are on it. I intend to change them to Elixir 9s. If it does not solve the problem, is there anything I can try? Most people I know that are playing guitars like that are playing maybe 10s, usually 11s. Especially you crazy jazz guys are playing like 11 flats. Not a lot of bending on, flat wound jazz guitar strings. That could be it. That instrument could be designed for the tension that 10s or 11s hold, and 9s might make it kind of weird. The tuners could be, I don't know how old the strings are. Just putting a new set of strings on it may solve your problem. Don't think like a bass player. Change your strings once a year. You guitar guys need to be changing your strings a whole lot more than you do. Comment on that Epiphone Thunderbird. If the battery's going low, it distorts the sound. The treble distorts mostly gain sound if you want to push it. His had a ground problem. Yeah. I had a guy, playing through my bass rig at a gig, 6 months, 9 months ago. Horrible distorted sound coming out of it. Man, we tried everything on my end of stuff trying to get that distortion out of it, and it turns out that his thumb bass active pickups was just jamming the living dog crap out of the signal, and when he turned it down, everything cleaned up. So I don't know. Michael Kelly, Dragonfly acoustic bass. How can you call your video restringing? Blah 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 blah. Should have known. Destroyed a bridge. Clean, nice guitar. Yeah, useless video. Partially. Number one, if you had read the comments more, you would have seen that I had profusely apologized in there. Because yeah, that's a great example of how not to make a YouTube video. Because I did a bunch of things wrong. And I continue to catch crap for it, and deservedly so. And I'm going to leave it up, and I'll take the crap from people, and I will also point out, read comments in another video, because sometimes content creators will make a video and they'll realize they screwed something up, and they will either make a supplemental video to it, or they will make a comment in there and going, yeah, I'm a bonehead, I did a bunch of things wrong. So, goes both ways. You know, you could put a small wedge in the open crack to put pressure laterally. Talking about the old Regal, yeah, learning process. I've been doing this. I think I've been on YouTube doing this for about 5 years. I'm still on this flat, you suck at everything part of the learning curve. I'm not up here. I'm like in this part where every time I do. All right, we're back recording, and you know, I'm sure the 4 people that are going to watch us are happy about that. Wouldn't let this guy sweep my driveway, let alone work on my guitar. Talking about the Martin 000 X1 AE repair. Goes both ways, pal. I just turned down somebody wanted me to repaint a guitar. They told me what they wanted, and I said, I'm not your guy. Mostly because they wanted a nitro refinish on top of, they had a Gibson that has a beautiful tiger maple top to it, and they wanted it painted black. I like money, but man, I'm not going to be the guy that does that. So, you know, it works both ways. It's all right. Of course, not perfect. Talking about who's this guy? Chan Lee. Talking about cheap and easy. Oh, the little feeler gauge saw things. Takes yeah, okay. Wooden guitar strings with fine and thin sandpaper around it do the job. Well, it depends. If you know what the thickness of your sandpaper and you know the thickness of your string, because if your string is, let's say it's a 52, then you have to figure the thickness of the strings or the thickness of the sandpaper, and you have to double that if you're going to wrap it around there. You know, there's all kinds of ways to skin a cat. You know, I know people that use welding tip cleaners. They use them for that. You know, whatever works. You know, don't get hung up on stuff. Workmate upgrade. Can you post materials used and dimensions for less handy people like me that want to upgrade their 550? Probably not. You're replicating a piece of wood. So you put it on a piece of fiberboard. This is a long time ago. The Workmate 550s, they came with like an MDF top, and they had a grid line printed out on it, and they had holes where you could put little dogs to hold stuff. And I replaced my wood, my MDF pieces with just ash. I think that's what it was. I think it was four quarter ash, maybe. No, I'm not. Figure it out, because that's what makes it great. So after all the negativity, it looks like it worked for you. What are we talking about? The roller stand. Yeah. But they're the Harbor Freight roller stands. I'm hemming and hawing about stuff because that's what I do. I'll just let you know that both the handles are broken off of both of them. So get what you pay for. Shardiger. If you don't follow Shardiger, follow him. He's not nearly as nice as I am, but he's a lot smarter than I am. Somebody thanked me for replacing a bulb in my Super Duty. You're welcome. I don't know a lot about cars, but I'll share the 2 things that I do. Ovation. I replaced bracing in one of these. Absolute junk. I wouldn't call them junk. I don't like them. You don't have to like them, and you don't have to like me. It all makes great good. Dane out in California. If you're not following Dane Nichols on guitar building, you need to follow him, because again, he's not as nice as I am. He's a whole lot smarter. Yeah, he's talking about that neck pocket. I don't understand it. I mean, I do understand it. I understand that they're working to a price point. It's the bottom of the line Ovation that they made. I kind of understand the process of how they're doing it, but what makes for good and efficient production doesn't necessarily make for good or easy repair. I think that's the thing. Boudreaux commented too. If you're not following him, follow him. Again, not nearly as nice as I am. but he's super smart. Yeah, can of worms. Yeah, this is all stuff on the Ovation. Yeah, Charter. I charge way more for the necks for Ovations. I'm just going to say no because I just don't need that kind of grief in my life. JB. Ovation guitars. I don't know why I didn't see any of these. This is now if you're dropping like the F-bomb. I mean, we all love Zip Fix just because, man, he's crusty like a barnacle, and that's why I didn't see his guitar or his comment, just because I've got my filters cranked down really tight because you know what? There's my kids. Look at these comments sometimes. My mom looks at them sometimes. And, you know, I think you can make an articulate argument without sounding like you just learned the F word in the 5th grade. Off my soapbox. Ovation guitars use high-strength industrial epoxy glue. Well, yeah. 30-minute fretboard extension. And for the neck. So here's the thing. He says the epoxy needs to be heated above 200 to become soft. And I just don't know that I'm brave enough to try to heat up this instrument to $200 for it to become soft. Iron until the glue sticks to the claw. Okay, yeah, those are it. Yeah. DB Cisco, those composite material joints hold helicopters together. They must be terrible. You can have a great holding joint and it not necessarily sound good, which is one issue, or be easy to disassemble and service. Okay, because you got 3 different things going on there. Yeah, heat, then some more heat. Epoxy will soften. Heat the tools too. Yeah, just not doing that. Looking through all this stuff. Man, this stuff goes like way back. 4 months ago. Let's see. Nevin Monahan. Did you ever find the model number? I think it's just I think 644. No, I have. I shouldn't. I haven't. Mike Anderson 4 months ago. Talking about the Epiphone.studio pot problem. Z. Lots of Z's. Abdul Ghafoor. C711 4 months ago. Your Rabab looks amazing. I was talking about the Afghani instrument that my wife brought back when she took a trip to the desert. I know how to use it, and I would love to have your Rabab if it is not in your use. Don't beg. You're better than that. Yeah. Dane talking about this is May of 19, talking about the Solara concept. I've got a couple of those, and they're kind of handy because I don't tend to get the same size guitar over and over again. I tend to get different scales. You know, you get the kids guitars, and you get the 3/4, and you get the big dreadnoughts, and when you're doing weird kind of stuff, it's you know, you don't want to make a custom tool for every one. If I can make a tool that will fit 3 or 4 of them, that's great because that means I've got space and I've saved materials. Anyways, Barry Bowman, cool tool. You got a lot of stuff. You should come by. There's more since you were here. Yeah, high pressure. It's all comments on stuff with high pressure laminate stuff from that Martin X series guitar. Yeah, I got a comment from Isanyan. Make it yourself. Yeah, I found a couple of videos talking about how to reskin my Rabab, and again, it's now that we've got these 2 pan guitars out of here, I'm free and clear, at least on getting my projects. We're going to get the backlog kind of cleared out. This guy's talking about the Gibson decal. Yeah, I say it on this channel, I say it on the Mrs. Rattlecan's house channel, I say it at the Rattlecan Fab Shop channel. Is there an easier way to do what I'm doing? I'm sure there is, but I don't know it. You only know what you know, and that's one of the reasons why I dig reading the comments. Now that I know there's this little hidden treasure trove of stuff here, They're talking a long time ago when I was putting the decal back on the the Les Paul, because we had to do that broken headstock repair. It's actually a lot cheaper if you simply apply the decal and then remove the clear plastic straight off, leaving behind just the Gibson and Les Paul lettering. Then all you have to do is clear coat directly on top of that, then a quick wet sand and polish, and you were done. Shouldn't take you longer than 20. Well, speed is not my forte. I was thinking the same thing. Once you apply the decal, you peel the clear plastic off the top, then you're left with just the lettering. He has to know that. I don't know that. I'll have to go back and think of that. So anyways, I think that's about all that's going on there. There's one knucklehead who's trying to take the mick out of me because when I demonstrated how to put a decal onto a Les Paul, the gist of it was, oh, now the chins, I'm assuming he meant the Chinese. I don't speak ethnic slur, but I'm guessing that's what that is. Now know how to counterfeit Gibsons. Well, first of all, they know how to counterfeit Gibsons very well. Second of all, if they wanted to learn how to counterfeit Gibsons, they wouldn't come to my channel to learn how to do it. I don't know. Somebody looking just to try to pick a fight. Good luck, mate, whatever. And good luck with your ethnic skills. Anyways, that's what's going on. We're still waiting on dates to go back to Nashville, deliver some guitars. I have a bad feeling we may pick up another guitar, but I'm trying real hard not to even think about that. And then we are going to, I'm going to predict that the next guitar I work on is going to be that one. That's the Lone Ranger guitar. I think we're going to start putting the frets back on that one and getting that one playing, because the back's on it. It's, you know, it's all together. It just needs frets and set up as much as you can set up a guitar like that. So that would be the one that I think is going to be next, because I think that one's got the shortest amount of work in it that needs to be done. And then I can say with a fair bit of certainty that that one is probably going to be the one next after that. That is one of the very first projects that I started on, and it has just been pushed to the wayside and pushed to the wayside and pushed to the wayside. And then after that, I think we'll start on this lovely thing, the Ensenada 12 string. Has the reinforced neck, because it says so right there on the plastic truss rod cover. And I think that'll be the next one. Someone at one point, I think, had some rage issues. But this appears to have been used as a canoe paddle for a number of years. I think that's third in line. That's what's going on. Again, if you've made a comment and you're, sincerely looking for more information, I'm sorry, I just didn't see them. And if you're just looking to pick a fight, I'm way too medicated to fall for that. So anyways, you guys have a good weekend. Cheers. Hey, if you like this episode of RATTLECAN Guitar Restorations, you might want to check this video out as well. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, and if you'd like to help the channel grow, consider stepping over to our Patreon page and giving that a look. Y'all have a good weekend. Cheers.